All right, there we go.
Thanks for moving it down without telling us,
They've-
IBJJF.
Yeah, they've had some weird match stuff going on today, but nonetheless, the action's getting started here. We have Araujo in on a shot, but wow, strong snap down by Hulk and ends up with him on the top position here in the guard.
Oh, that was a
Hopefully
much different
passing.
start to the first match. You know, Hulk was the one who pulled guard and had a very patient strategy in their first match, but coming out fired up here in the second round of the Absolute Division.
Yes, he looks very strong. He looks ready to finish this fight. He looks pretty eager. And if I can't totally see, but I believe he has an underhook on the left side. And we're back into the strong position he's been using all day. His head and arm position that he uses to pass, sometimes uses it to submit, and then even, of course, to take the back as well. Looks like he has not really an underhook, but a body lock around the forearm.
Yeah, he did this in an earlier match, remember? And he completely shut the ability down to kind of dig that underhook in.
Yeah, so even though the underhook is there, he's keeping the elbow so tight to Araujo's body that it's not really working in his favor. There's not much he can do with that underhook. Maybe he's trying to turn on the side a little bit to the left, but that's such heavy pressure coming in from Hulk, it's going to be very difficult. Of course, Hulk's goal when he's passing is going to be to keep Araujo flat. If someone could turn on their side, they can be mobile, they can recover the guard, they can attack, they can go to deep half. But if you're flat on your back, there's not a whole lot you can do, and you're not very mobile, very susceptible to getting your guard passed. And of course, Araujo knows this, is why he's trying to dig that underhook in.
Yeah, the work of the way that Hulk does that he keeps his elbow down over the top of the underhook and shuts it down like that. It's really impressive for me, actually, because, you know, pretty much everybody gets their arm in that far, and the underhook is good, but Hulk just, it's like, it just does not work with him.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me too, because I know when I'm on top, I want that underhook. I really don't want to be over the elbow, so this is something for me to look at too.
Well, Hulk has it now, and he's also got the step on the inside of the thigh. The traditional half guard pass.
Coming through right to the mouth. It's going to get the 3 and the 4 most likely.
Wow, yes, look at that. 3 for the pass, 4 for the mount. A 7-point move in just one fluid motion.
And Vomit still has that head and arm control, which I wonder if he is going to use for the head and arm triangle submission, which we know he loves. He's used it a couple times today. Or if he may end up taking the back like he did earlier. This is very similar to his first match with Araujo earlier today. Use that head and arm pass here. End up taking the back later. But it looks like he may be settling into a submission here. I wonder if he's going to try to finish this. Don't know how deep it is just yet. But clearly has great hip pressure. Just keeping Araujo so flat. Not able to bump, bridge, turn on his side, recover his guard. It looks like he still does have his arm above the head. So even if it's not totally a head and arm triangle submission yet, it does take the use away from Araujo's arm. He can't use it to escape.
That is a heavy, heavy mount right there, especially when he's crossing the ankles like that.
Just driving those hips down, right?
Yeah. Smothering pressure, 9 points on the board, 6.5 minutes remaining in this match.
Wow.
And, you know, if you thought the first match was a shutout, 17-0 and a rear naked choke, so far the second match is looking very similar.
Yeah, I'd like to see Araujo use his left arm on the hip to try to create some space, but I am imagining that he has been trying to do so, or maybe he's trying to fight that arm through to protect his other arm from being hugged. Could be trying to pull his arm down and through to the head and arm triangle. That's what's going on. He's trying to pass his hands together. Because if his arm stays above his head, we know Lucas is going to have a good chance of reaching that head and arm triangle here on the left side. Which again, he's used so effectively today. So a lot of heavy pressure here. The hips are low. And even though when we see these little bridges, it doesn't look like much. But that is a lot of power being exerted by Araujo. But all the more credit to Hulk. His mount is very heavy. His hips are very low. So these bridges don't look like a whole lot to us. But that is a lot of power exertion.
Yeah, it really is. Just the smothering pressure of Hulk here on top. Totally in control. Not really trying to attack from here, though. Just, I think maybe waiting for Araujo to try and escape and expose something.
Well, now we're back here to the Little guard recovery, but not quite a guard, more of a half guard. Like to see if he could bring his right knee in for a knee shield, but again, Hulk with that really heavy pressure. Hard to get any space in between the hips to bring that knee inside. And again, like we've been saying, he doesn't have the underhook. He has the arm trapped over the elbow, just keeping the underhook glued to the body so that it's really useless, which is really impressive.
Yeah, reaching his left hand kind of back down around the waist, actually. It's a very interesting way to kill that, and combining it with that shoulder in the face, that strong cross-face top pressure, just completely flattened out Araujo.
And I love that he uses the shoulder not only like to put pressure down, but he really turns the face
away,
which is so powerful because it makes it so hard.
Look at that, beautiful, riding that little buck in the bridge and just very easily going over into the mount. Once again, he's going to go up to 16 points to 0 now.
Araujo was trying desperately to keep his hands together to avoid that head and arm triangle once again, because Hulk needs to bring the arm over the head for the submission to get the bite that we need. Araujo's doing a good job keeping his hands clasped together just to avoid that, hang on and survive. The problem is that it doesn't really give us any options to escape. You can't bring the hands to the hip, you can't bring the heads to the leg to hip escape. So it makes it very difficult. But of course, right now it's just surviving. And see if Hulk will lock his feet again underneath. I know he's electing just keeping the feet close to the body. I think we're going to see, I think Hulk's going to be patient. I think he's going to keep trying to grind that arm up above the head for another head and arm triangle. I think he feels very strong and confident there and really wanting to switch it up. But Araujo, I think, has his hands locked still under there. Yep, he has this intertwined fingers now. He's still bridging. Might be able to bring his knee inside. A little more space, but not quite able to do it. Hulk keeping his hips so heavy and low here. Just not having enough room. And again, his head is stuck, a lot of shoulder pressure. And we're really at a difficult position for Araujo right now, because if he unclasps his hands to try to escape, he may have a better option, pushing the knee down, pushing the hip. But of course, if he unclasps his hands, and it's very likely that he's going to bring that arm over his head, just like he's trying to climb his hands up the mat now and go into his head and arm triangle. So not a whole lot of options in this bottom position, because you lose something either way or you lose something either way. And now
there's a nice escape there from Araujo. I think Hulk very comfortably just rolling over with that. Not really concerned about losing the position. I mean, he knows also that, as we saw in the first match today, that he has the ability to fight from bottom and sweep Araujo as well. And rather than sort of like fighting to keep that top position, he's like, hey, I'm 16 points up. I'm just going to roll with it. I'm sure I can score again.
Absolutely, and we saw him play guard a lot today. I like Araujo trying those two little Estimo locks, although they weren't the right bite, they weren't tight enough, but still going after it. And 2 minutes down, 2 minutes left, 16 points down. You gotta just go for whatever you see. Take all the chances and just try to make something happen here. But he's definitely still dialed in. He's like, finally out, I've got my chance.
Oh, look at that, a little jumping guard pass attempt.
That was nice.
I thought he was going to hit the flying triangle there for a second.
That could have been a little triangle, but Hope was got a little wise to it, bringing his forearms into the equation. Eventually recovering to close guard. He's a great close guard, as we've been seeing today. We've seen this attack a lot today, where people are doing the leg over the body, converting here. We've seen it go into knee bars.
It's a very, very common entry nowadays into the leg game. It's the we did a pretty thorough study on this, actually. Everybody from the Meow Brothers and Tommy Langacker, Lachlan Giles, they all use this kind of entry into the leg game, all for very different reasons, of course, whether it's gi or no gi, whether it's heel hooks or not.
Yeah, it's so strong because, that was nice. I don't know if Lucas initiated that sweep, or if maybe Araujo thought he might get a little straight ankle lock there, but either way, Lucas back on top. Little butterfly guard smash pass action here.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Hulk just driving his head into those posts.
Like a pit bull there, right? Wow, right back to the guard. 30 seconds left. Wow. Yeah, definitely very aggressive fighters here, keeping the action high. And Luke is excited to finish on top. Looks like he wants another pass.
It does, yeah. It looks like he'd like to finish, if anything, actually.
Yeah.
But I think with the 18 points to 0 and 10 seconds remaining, I think that Hulk will very comfortably ride out the remainder of this match.
Wow.
Late
That
leg lock
was,
attended from Araujo.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
well,
was nice.
I was thinking, oh, can we see an upset here? But no, Hulk is going to take that one 18-0. Second time that he's beat Araujo today.
Yeah, what a great match, very dominant. But again, I love that when Araujo came out of the mount finally, those last 2 minutes, he looked very competitive.
Oh, yeah, never say die, and that's what we like.
Yeah, like very competitive. Like those last 2 minutes of the fight looked like two completely different fighters in the first 8 minutes, right? So stuck in that mount. But that just goes to show you do not want to be in the mount of Lucas Barbosa. No matter how good you are, if you end up in that position,